What's the deal, YouTube? Welcome to the channel, man. It's Diablo coming at you out with another video, man. And today we got another video by Joshua Chero. Bro, I'm fucking these guys' last name up, bro. God damn. Damn. But yeah, today we're going to be reacting to how an artist converted a 13,000 square foot NYC warehouse into his home. Damn. Damn. Oh my, and I'm in NYC. That boy got that money. That nigga got money. This man got some money. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, man, let's get to it. Let's see who this guy is, bro.
This building to me is like a church. It represents everything that my life has been, so to speak. Why in the world would I put this away?
Oh yeah, he got the sculptures and shit. He making big money.
Hey, Ray.
How are you, man?
Good, good. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. No.
Okay, so originally, just with the portion.
Man, imagine just chilling with some couple of women in that motherfucker. Just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Stop playing. That man got the layout for a motherfucker. I'm talking about motherfucker go instantly drop them. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing.
The portion that you're in right now was a blacksmith's place. You see, so this is one building, right? The one you're coming out of. And this is the next building. Okay, so this building is a foundry. Or was a foundry. It still can be a foundry. My name is Ray Smith. I grew up in Mexico
Ray
City.
Smith?
Mexico City was amazingly dynamic. This was post-World War II Mexico City. It was about as groovy as you could possibly get. I didn't really discover, say, pop art and all of that until I started coming up into New York and things like that.
That's all the artists need, bro. When I think about it, look, I was just about to say, that's all the artists need is a little dog. That's all we need, bro. We get lonely as a motherfucker. See, a lot of women don't be understanding, you know, even, bro, this is one thing I thought about. I used to think to myself, like, bro, I think I will only be able to interact with, like, women who do art. Bro, that is the worst shit ever. Like, you being an artist, she being an artist, this mindset correlating with that mindset. Maybe it was just my experience, but that was the worst shit I ever did in my life, bro. I could not do that shit, bro. I'm talking about, god damn. I thought that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I thought we just gonna be in the room drawing together and all that shit. Oh, fuck no. Oh, no. So yeah, man. Yeah, all we need is a dog. Little bitty ass dog. Tell us that, hey man, what's going on? Come in and check on us every now and then, get back to drawing. That's all we need, bro. Fuck all that.
76 or 75, and I ended up meeting this teacher who was at Boston College, who was a writer and a poet.
Ray Smith, okay, I got it right.
He knew a guy called Paul Morrissey, and Paul Morrissey was the guy that was making the films for Andy Warhol. So in 1975, I walked into Andy Warhol's studio, and that blew me away. That was it. I mean, I just thought at some point I got to get up here. My grandfather used to say, why don't you...
Little dog on the paint.
What's that? I attempted to stay in New York in 78. Yeah, there was no way that you were going to be able to live.
I'm glad he
took
took the picture from that angle, bro. He gonna get full ass of the dog, bro.
But Soho
But see, all dog ass.
Fun, but it was too much of a toil. You had to drive a cab or be a waiter at a restaurant or something like that, and to barely make the $500 that you had to come up with to pay the rent,
man,
was a bit.
$500, nigga. Where you living at in NYC? You gotta pay $500. I know he old. I know this shit was back in the day, but still, this NYC. What the fuck? Where you living at that you only have to pay $500 for rent? Where were you? You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn, what? You know what I mean? God.
And then I ended up going back to Mexico, right across the street from my mother's house in Mexico City. I ended up seeing a building, and I thought, look at it, it's abandoned. So I'd learned the abandoned building shit.
I need to scoot back my damn head and go through the screen.
Oh, wait, maybe we could pull this off. So I walk into the place. Okay, so it had the chairs and the tables and the bar and all of the different stuff, except that it's been abandoned because it never occurred to them to try and get the permit. to get the restaurant. So you had a restaurant that was probably 30 years old that hadn't been touched. We're gonna have to let's rent the whole building and see what we can do. We started making parties and then creating something that was, you know, artists' studios and events and things like that we were doing there, which was the kind of shit that was going on in New York. I was making a little bit of money off this building.
A little bit of money off my ass. Listen, bro. Artists like this, bro, artists in general with, you know, who have money and shit, bro, they live them. I keep saying we, like I made it yet. I ain't make shit. I ain't made it yet. But listen, bro, artists like this, they live a very humble life, bro. They just be chilling. They don't be bright. You know, they might have a nice car in the cut somewhere that you might not know about. You ain't gonna know about it, the lambs and, you know, you ain't about to know about the exotic shit. They go constantly pull up to work in they little cool little Benz. Pull up to the gallery in they little Benz and shit. You know what I'm saying? Little dog in the back. You know what I'm saying? Little dog, got a little dog jacket on and shit. Oh, bro, artists, bro, real low-key life, but behind closed doors, nigga, oh, niggas is living. I done seen it. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? I'm talking about, I done went in a nigga house where we had to transport, I keep saying, I went in a nigga house, bro, we had to bring a whole sculpture. It was a sculpture by, what was his name, bro? Woodrow Nash, one of the, like African looking sculptures. It's like human African looking sculpture of a person. But yeah, man, we had to bring one of those to a person's house. I'm talking about, we walked in the door, nigga. I thought we was on goddamn Belly or something. Nigga, they were big ass stairs going like this and shit. Big ass centerpiece statue. I'm like, damn, like who? I'm thinking it's a movie scene in this motherfucker. That shit was like, but yeah, bro, some shit be going on, bro. Y'all better stop playing with this art shit. Y'all heard what Jay-Z said. He ain't playing. You better go listen to OJ, goddamn.
So I started coming back up to New York quite a bit. In 1985, my wife and I had just gotten married. We were newlyweds, and the 1985 earthquake destroyed our building. So now it was no way home, go to New York. The most important tool in this studio is that machine right there. Yeah, well, so you're an adventuresome filmmaker. Oh yeah, come on up. Okay, so it's just up and down, okay?
Okay.
Nothing but space. You have to constantly create.
That's
Yeah.
so great.
See, so you end up with tools like this that, you see, it's completely perfect. You gotta get up here, I'm 12 feet up in the air.
Yeah,
It's
see
like a
everything.
perch. Yeah, and I get to be able to see everything.
Yep. Just said that.
We're in the Guanas Canal neighborhood. Originally was
Who that
like
is
these
in the corner
marshes
up there?
that
Who
were
that
in
is?
Brooklyn. It became an industrial
Snos.
canal, just factories all around it that were generally sort of like high-risk stuff, like chemical plants. But then in the 1950s, it began to sort of go bankrupt. This then becomes a very toxic, abandoned, industrial wasteland of sorts. But it wasn't until the end of Bloomberg that they'd figured out how toxic it was, and then it was declared a Superfund site. The rumor starts coming that they're
I bet he got some big ass bugs in that motherfucker. Look at that big ass hole in the wall right there. I know he got big ass spiders and rodents and shit. I know, you know what I'm saying? He keeps his shit probably maintained, but I just know when it come to big ass buildings, look at it this way. Mansions have roaches. Big mansions, $1 million mansions and shit, they got roaches, bro. So yeah, have an understanding of this shit. Roaches do not mean unsanitary. Yes, it does in some cases, yes. When you in apartments and shit like that, yeah. But in a nice ass house, you see a big ass wood roach running across the floor in the night. That shit happens in mansions. That shit is happening in Elvis Presley mansion. I saw a big ass roach in Elvis Presley mansion. I'm not playing. I saw a big ass roach in Elvis Presley mansion. I was like, okay, cool. So I don't want to hear that shit. Motherfucker tell my nigga dirty. Hell nah, bro. Everybody got roaches.
rezone it, and they're going to permit tall towers. That's when the developers' money starts coming in. As soon as I got here to New York, I had a friend of mine who was in the building with me in Mexico. He'd moved to New York and was out here. And this was literally the edge of the world. This was a war zone, flat out. If the sun went down, you were inside somewhere. And one evening I got late and I ended up staying.
You got
there.
laid?
And in the morning, suddenly we were woken up by the most glorious
That man got
organ
laid.
music that I'd ever heard in my life. And it was like we were inside the organ, and it was true. The guy that tuned the organs, one of the best tuners of church organs in the world, had knocked the floor out between one place and the other. And so he would tune the organs with Bach. You know, it was the closest thing I think I ever came to like a real spiritual awakening. There was these things here in the neighborhood, in this godforsaken place that was really cool. This is the kind of shit that I don't think anybody can do anymore. This is one of the most important things that I think was going on in New York at any particular period. I ended up walking into this building for the first time in the year 2000. I called a friend of mine. I said, "How much is the rent of, warehouse space, abandoned warehouse space?" He says, "Well, why do you want to rent? Why don't you come and look at it?" And so I drove over here, and the moment I walked in through the door over there, this broker, young guy, probably in his early 20s. As far as I was concerned, he didn't know what he was selling. We're walking through it, and he's telling me how screwed up the deal is and all this other kind of stuff. So he's kind of like selling, but walking into it backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to tell me all the problems at once. So as I'm walking in it, I'm looking at the height of the ceilings, and I'm just listening to this kid talk about it. And
Yeah,
then I'm
like,
walking
nigga, you
to this
just
room, and
talking.
I saw the height of this ceilings and the windows and
He like, nigga, you just running your motherfucking mouth, nigga. Okay, yeah, I got money, nigga. We ain't hearing none of that shit. Okay, you said what? You said how much? You said it's some. You said what's wrong with this, and what's wrong with that, and what's wrong with that? Oh, okay, I'll take it. Fuck you mean? Let me get that. You running your goddamn mouth. Shut your ass up, man. Let me spend my money.
all of that. And
I got the vision, damn it.
by that time, he'd finished his bad story. So then I turned out and said, "How much do you want for it?" I didn't even think about it twice. Like because I had been here and I'd stayed in that evening with the organ music and the guys tuning the organs.
No.
I knew exactly sort of where we were, and I knew that maybe I had already sort of dreamt the place. So I bought it that evening.
Yeah, right.
I loved it from the moment that I walked in. In fact, the quickest thing I ever bought in my life, actually. It's 13,000 square feet. It was clearly also, had been like a drug den. There were mattresses on the floor and, human shit. And I mean, it was pretty gnarly. The very first thing we started doing was welding the metal onto the doors and keeping everybody out.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Then the pigeons, it was a bit of a problem to try and keep the pigeons out. And a friend of mine had a pet peregrine falcon. And he perched the falcon in here. There were no more pigeons. that worked. And
this where Stuart Little was fighting and shit. This where Stuart Little was running from that damn falcon, bruh. This where it was. Bruh, I knew this shit was, I saw that damn hole in the wall. I said, this shit look familiar, bruh. Stuart motherfucking Little, bro. That's where it shit, this is where the scene was, man. Where his ass was, man, I knew that shit.
It was just great. And so Edwin had a crew of
They got a little bunny right there.
Drug addicts. And so he needed to get them jobs. So in they came, and so we're cleaning up the place, and Edwin, who said that he had quit drugs because he had found Jesus and work. So now he's preaching down there at the canal. He kind of, broke the ice with the neighborhood relations.
I mean, gee, though, there you go. But you don't give him your ass, man. You gotta.
No, for real. Get your ass out of my face.
The Brad Pitt of Coyote look.
That mezzanine was created because this area flooded entirely with Sandy. So we got hit with about 6 feet of water.
Downey showed this NFL mom a clip about her son.
You smell like hot dog water, boy.
We need to do something about that. Cameron Tyler, I'm gonna show you how to rinse that odor out.
That smells a lot better. Rinse impossible odors out in one wash.
If the Colonel saw the price of a lunch today, he'd have some choice words. But with KFC's $5 bowls packed with all this crispy chicken, he wouldn't have any words at all, because his mouth would be filled with...
When every day feels the same, one man wants more.
I need an adventure.
So Ken goes to Expedia, the one place.
The walls are built like, I think probably like at least a foot off the ground, because we knew that this place could flood from day one. But Sandy just completely overwhelmed us. Like there was, even the water started piling up outside, and it just created so much pressure on these doors that they actually opened inward.
Damn.
Out, and then poured 6 feet of water into this space.
Damn.
Over 250 pieces of art had been damaged and were floating around.
Man.
Just like floating all over the place. Eventually, it all...
Man, boy, that shit have made me so mad, boy. Man, we artists go through some shit, and I could say we, the show right there, because I understand that type of shit. I done seen the art director that I was dealing with deal with some shit, kind of, it wasn't no flood, but man, it fucked a lot of paintings up, bro, and he owed a lot of money. He owed a lot of money. I'm talking about damn. So I know exactly how this loss feel, bro. That shit crazy. That's just like for anybody that sell drugs. Man, as you got millions of dollars worth of shit and it rain or whatever, bro. The shit get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit not cool, bro. And selling art is damn near like, bro, you making drug lord money when you start selling art and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real.
It kind of cured itself. And I actually really like the paintings and the sculptures in a sense that got water damaged by Sandy. Those things were floating around because they're made out of laminated plywood and they're hollow. So they floated. So they were going around the studio for about 3 days, floating in water. And somebody suggested the only way that you're going to be able to get rid of the mold is burn them. And so we burnt them, and that's why they're black. And I love them the way they are. That's what I heard from Sandy.
Now see that's art in itself. You see that, bro? Like it was, it looked a totally different way before the flood. It flooded, sat in water. I'm already knowing how wood acts after it's been sitting in water. Shit sounds horrible. How do I know that? Because I skate and I hate when my board fall in water. I run in rain. But you know what I'm saying? Like gave him a whole nother idea. He burnt it. Now it came up with a whole different creation. Like what the fuck, bro? That's crazy, bro. God damn, that's art for you.
You build this whole thing thinking
that's where the price come from.
Something that is gonna, and it's nothing. Basically, you know, the way that all of this was happening, which is what made it exciting, is that in 76, the New York City falls apart. Yeah. Okay, and so everybody now has got all these ruins that we can move into, and we can sort of like start modifying things. Yeah. And that kind of made for this entirely different sort of, environment. Do you know what I'm saying? So and there was something really cool about that shit. The places
that boy getting in character.
The finest hope is in the places that are the most hopeless, probably. That was the charm of New York at the time, was that it was all like you had to build it, you had to invent it. You had to,
what is that?
You had to piece it back together. I had all of this history, but at the same time, it was kind of like a bit of a disaster zone. Everything had been abandoned. There's all of the potential. So everybody had that particular spirit. This city has been the magnet of some of the most talented human beings on the face of this earth. And the thing that they're doing is they're getting rid of the artists. Octavio Paz used to say that language had different tiers to itself. And he said the finest use of language is possibly music.
Nah.
And then the one right now underneath that is probably poetry, because it's the song to the music. And then maybe painting, and then he said the very last one is law. I don't know of any artist, or very few artists, that can afford the rents and to try and stay here and hold on to the plays. The entire city's being rebuilt. We're surrounded by nothingness.
Now with that, like I know, like people like him, see, when you're an artist, a lot of artists, they don't just sell their own art. They collect art as well, and they sell that. So you might buy a painting for maybe 30,000. Wait for the artist to get a little bit more bigger to where painting is worth a little bit more. Resell that shit for 40,000, 50,000. That's how it work, bro. I didn't seen it. I'm talking about I didn't seen some shit go from $500 to $10,000, bro, within like the span of a year. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that shit's crazy.
Sides of the canal. All the buildings around us were torn down, and they're about to begin excavation. Okay, well, right now you're getting the view that you're gonna get without us getting surrounded with monstrosities. So yeah, no, it's every time I look over here, in that direction, in this direction, it just makes me want to vomit.
Damn.
What a horror. Here, the wonderful part is that they all have this language that pretends to want to support the art and the artists. And it's just the most amazing load of bullshit.
I'll be blowing weed all through that
We'll
mug.
build the building, and then it'll be so expensive for you to upkeep it that you'll have to sell it to us at the other end that pay the capital gains tax. So then you go, wow, why didn't that kind of shit occur to me? There are developers that are coming to me and said, oh, well, we don't want to knock your building down. We just want to turn it into an event space. And I said, really? And so how much is that going to cost? And they tell you how much they think it's going to cost. And they tell you how much it's going to make and that they're going to keep 50%. You say, well, thank you for the idea, but I don't think I need you.
Nah, for real. Get the fuck out of here.
We're there already, so to speak. It's get developed.
Give me my damn money.
I really, really thank the developers for always
Now, a place like this would take forever to move that shit out, bro. God damn. It would take forever to move that shit out.
The people that are there. To be an artist and for them to think of you as being crazy and dumb, God damn, that's the best camouflage you could possibly have. They want to just come in here and they want to hand you this money so that you can go someplace and retire. Well, I never had a job, so let's just start from there. It's almost like, okay, so if we sold it, I'd have money and I would put it in a bank. Well, I think I prefer living in my money.
Nah, for real.
They don't get that. I have no reason to leave. This studio has never tried to be kind of inside the establishment, so to speak. This is like looking over the edge of the abyss. This is the bliss of the abyss.
The bliss of the abyss. You know what I'm saying?
That's an amazing way to end the interview.
Bro, shout out to Mr. J. Smith, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was crazy. I likes that. Damn, you know what I'm saying? You might say, I'd rather live in my money. No bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all coming in here trying to tear my shit down, talking about an event space. You can invent these nuts in your mouth. You can invent some constructive shit to do besides coming here fucking with me and trying to lowball me on my shit. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. Shout out Mr. J. Smith for telling them ugly motherfuckers to get the hell up out of there, bro. I don't need y'all. So yeah, man. That was a hell of a video, bro. Shout out to him. But that was the video for today, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. You enjoyed. I'm Ciablo, and I'm out.